Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Muriel Morrison-Higgins. I'm joined today by Tony Swiericzuk, the CEO of VRX Silica. Tony, it's good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Lovely to be back talking to you, Oriel.
Now, you've got some good news. The Western Australian government has just backed your land swap proposal at Muchea. Can you tell us what this means?
Yeah, look, Muchea is our second project, or what I refer to as our second project in the portfolio for VRX. Some time ago, the company submitted a proposal to do a land swap to with the state government. In that, we would enlarge the mining lease area by getting this land swapped supported and then eventually approved by the government and the regulatory authorities. And we successfully achieved that last week. And what that means for the project is that it opens up a lot more area. We basically moved from just over 300, just under 400 hectares up to just over 1,000 hectares in size for the mining lease for Muchea. It's a less environmental impact in the new land that is going to be swapped and added into our mining lease. And it also adds considerable resource to that already high-grade silica sand purity deposit that we've got there at Muchea.
So what is the potential then for this project after this news, and who are the potential customers?
Yeah, look, Muchea, I jokingly refer to it as the jewel in the crown. It is a higher grade than our first project, Arrowsmith North, that we'll talk about soon. Customers for Muchea are the glass making, the ultra clear glass making customers would be the foundation market that we would target for Muchea. And then there's also further potential for downstream value add products that can come from the Muchea resource as well. With some dry grinding, you can produce products like silica flour, silica powder, and those have their own high value markets that feed into basically the pharmaceutical glasses, your Gorilla Glass on your phones. Those sorts of areas as well. So LCDs, LEDs, the market gets opened up quite a lot if you can get down to that high value add product.
No, the potential is huge from what you're talking about there. So Tony, you mentioned Arrowsmith North. Let's talk about that. Your flagship project, you're fully permitted now. Nearly half the production is already sold. What's next? Where are you at with construction, with financing?
Yeah, look, the fully approved status, we're just finalising the amendments on those approvals that we already have. The amendments are driven by the fact we're removing or transferring infrastructure away from the mining lease and not having to destroy native vegetation, but moving onto a farm that we're purchasing just adjacent next door. So moving that infrastructure onto already cleared land provides all sorts of operational benefits and synergies. So that it's a great move. We expect in the coming weeks that we'll have those amendments to those approvals that they come through. Post that, we'll be fast as I can. I'll be moving into site early works, and what that means is basically civil works. So we're talking roads, dams, pads, things like that we get everything ready, and that supports a sort of a fast start and a more efficient project schedule when we walk into next year.
Now you've got essentially, like we've been talking about today, Tony, you've got two very different projects. They're advancing at a similar pace, but they're at very different stages. So how do you prioritise?
Well, naturally prioritise the one that's going to get there first, and in cash flow, that's obviously Arrowsmith North. So I refer to it as construction ready or shovel ready. We will be going for full project finance later this calendar year, and my intentions are that early next calendar year we'll be away on site in construction for a good part of that year and commissioning towards the second half or end of next calendar year. It's a reasonably quick construction process, very simple mining methodology, very simple low risk wash plant, and already an established pathway to market through the Brand Highway and the Port of Geraldton. So very fast project that's supported by a lot of established mature infrastructure. Back to Muchea, with that land swap coming through, I also intend to dust off the BFS, the bankable feasibility study that was done in 2019 or 2019, and bring that up to a modern day 2026 standard and get that updated, get that out into the market and get some real value apportioned to that project as it rightly deserves. We'll also start permitting approvals as fast as we can on Muchea. Normal timeframes for those type of approvals, probably looking around 18 months. I hope not 2 years, But that 18-month mark would allow us to run in series. We would do the work in parallel for both projects, but we would then series one after the other in construction. We'd be able to move the team from Arrowsmith North over to Muchea, all going well.
Great, excellent. Well, it certainly sounds like the next few months are going to be a very busy time for you, Tony. We look forward to following your journey very closely. Thanks for talking to us today.
Thank you very much for having me, Oro.